online learning environment, right? So again, it's still loading, but we'll be talking about the difference between online learning versus the traditional learning that students are used to, just coming to campus and attending classes, sitting in the classroom and meeting face-to-face with your instructor and with your peers. So online learning is known for being flexible and being very convenient. Right? You're sitting at home, you're in your pajama, whenever you feel like logging in and start reading and working on your material, you have that luxury. Right? You don't have to commute, you don't have to travel, you can be in vacationing and yeah, you're still studying and learning and doing what you need to do. But the downfall to, or the other point of view, let's not say the downfall, but the other point of view to online learning, that it's also challenging because it lacks the aspect of face-to-face, the immediate need to interact with the instructor, with students, asking other peers in the classroom, asking questions, and I'm very upset that it's not uploading. It's still taking its time. Okay, but so our PowerPoint today is a reflection of a research study that was done by Minnesota State University, and it talks really about what makes a successful online learner basically successful, right? What makes or institute a successful online learner or student. So we would say that study skills, and Nicole, feel free to jump in at any point, okay?
Yes.
Thank you. So we will talk about some study skills that are specifically valuable for an online learner, right? Or for online learning in general. So these skills are divided into almost three different areas. First is personal skills. So the person, the student, the learner, do you have or did you build the skill as far as time management and organization skill? Do you have that skill? Are you working on enhancing that skill? Are you, anything that is personal? Do you do well? Are you self-motivated? Do you do well studying on your own? Do you always have to have something or to encourage you to learn a material or to study your course or prepare for your exam or assignments? Or can you be self-motivated? Can you be basically managing your schedule? Do you have the skills and the habits and the routine that will help you succeed in doing what you're doing? The other thing would be technical skills. And when we talk about technical skills, we talk about online learning. Do you have the service? Do you have internet? Do you have computer? Are you aware of software? If we're talking about skills, it's your knowledge of software and hardware, right? Certain programs, browsers. Can you Google certain information? If you encounter technical difficulties as far as, oh, I lost the internet, or can I use document? Can I use Microsoft PowerPoint, Excel sheets, things like that, that would help you become successful. Blackboard in that case, Collaborate, Zoom. As a Mercer student, of course, you'll be exposed to a number of technical platforms, right, or programs, so you have to build awareness there. The third thing, and we'll discuss these things in details, but the third aspect will be knowledge of your environment, your surrounding environment. Do you have an environment that is conducive of a good quality of work? So your house environment, your bedroom, your study room, your habit of going maybe to the library, to the cafe if you have to. What time of the day do you study? Is your study area, do you have good lighting, good chair to sit on, the way you use computer physically, how long do you sit or stay? Can you divide your studying increments into, your studying time into increments that will assist you in physically and mentally and emotionally in receiving information and successfully studying and learning? So let's start with the personal skills, right? So an online learner, and these skills apply to traditional face-to-face as well as online, but they are critical to build if you intend to become an online learner, right? So the first thing would be persistence. When do you run into a challenge? What do you do? So we all run into challenges, whether you are just fresh graduate of high school, an adult learner, coming back to school after many years of professional work, a mom, I don't know, you have a job, professional, and you're still enhancing your academic knowledge, whatever the case might be. What do? Are you the person that quits and give up as soon as you run into a challenge, or are you the person that who keeps trying? Who keeps asking questions, who keeps looking for help, right? It makes a huge difference. If you are trying to work on an assignment and all of a sudden, oh, Blackboard collapsed, right? And I don't know what to do now. Well, let me start a Google Doc and let me start my assignments there. Let me work on my assignments and then save it. And then later on, either go back to Blackboard and submit it, or maybe email it to my instructor, right? I don't know what happened. Maybe let me reach out to my success coach or my instructor or Mercer Online. So it's not, I have to build a skill where I cannot become frustrated by what's taking place and then just quit and give up, right? The other thing would be set up a manageable study schedule for yourself and stick to it. It makes a huge difference. And again, going back to time management and organization skills, you have to know what you're doing. If you just all of a sudden decided that, you know what, I'm gonna work on my assignment, and then the first time you encounter difficulties, or you feel tired or sick, or you look at the assignment, you see that you have many layers and many steps to the assignment, and then you are overwhelmed by, for adult learner, for example, kids are home and you still have to work to maintain certain work hours and attend to your family needs. And it kind of like discourages you from doing what you're supposed to do. But with a set schedule that's manageable, realistic, achievable, the SMART goals, right? Achievable, it has some type of timely organized, right? So I know that in the morning I can do this and that, and then my schedule is to go to work from 9 to 4, and then maybe an hour dedicated or a couple hours to take care of my kids, and then maybe I don't know, I have time for myself now from 4 to 6 or 4 to 10, depends on, and it's different from one to another, right? What I am capable of doing is different from what Nicole and her lifestyle is doing, is capable of doing, and from my other colleagues, right? We're all different, and we all reciprocate and engage with the learning material in a very different way. So you have to look back at your abilities, what you're capable of doing and not, your work style, work routine, lifestyle, and your studying routine, your work routine, your family needs, and then adjust and dedicate a weekly time where you look at everything A to Z. And it's like, okay, how am I going to do this? And then start planning it. And when the plan doesn't go the way it's supposed to go, you modify. You go back and edit and fix and adjust and change and do look back and see what worked and what didn't, and readjust until you figure it out and see what's the best plan for you, right? What works best. And then again, it's very critical to look effectively at your skill to manage time, right? To organize yourself and manage time. You always have to, we're talking about classes here, so you always have to look at all your syllabus, not one class. If you're taking 1, 2, 3, and 4, depends on the number of courses. Look at all of them. Dedicate time on a weekly basis. It's a weekly routine. Let's say Sunday, for those who are able to dedicate a couple hours on Sunday, to go back and look at all your syllabus, right? And again, develop a plan. Develop a plan to complete all the assignments. Look at what's going to happen within a week or 2 from now, what's due now, and prioritize and organize your responsibilities. And then make a daily to-do list. So now that I have a long-term plan, a weekly plan, let me divide the assignments and the requirement for me to meet and to submit my work on time and take care of my other responsibilities outside of school into a daily to-do list, right? Today I have to achieve this, tomorrow I have to achieve this, the day after. And by the end of the week, hopefully I was able to get all my assignments done and submitted, right? in addition to everything, again, outside of school. And it's important to balance, because if you dedicate all your time to school and then you lack everywhere else, that will come back and impact you. And then now you will have to balance. So you go back and take care of your other responsibilities that will impact school. You have to maintain a nice balance between all your responsibilities, home as well as work, as well as your personal need, as well as school. And this is how we keep it going, right? And you try your best not to sacrifice the quality as much as you can. Meaning you rest, so you cannot stay up all night working on your assignment because tomorrow you're going to work and you don't have enough hours in a day. This is why we say on a weekly basis, you sit and look at all your assignments, all your work, all your responsibilities, because you have to have enough days, hours of the day, sleeping and eating and taking care of yourself, right? It's important to maintain your well-being physically, mentally, and emotionally to be able to continue doing this, right? And then check things off your list. This is also important because it's a sense of accomplishment. It makes you feel like I did it. I was able to do this. I'm successful in doing this. Even if it was to be small accomplishments, right? Just an activity, but I still have a project to work on. That's okay, but you were successful in achieving this. And baby steps, right? Building blocks. So you worked on this assignment and you succeed in submitting the assignment and you did what you're supposed to do. And tomorrow you work on your schedule, a to-do list for tomorrow, and step by step, before you know it, you're there. It's Friday and you're almost done with all your work and work assignments as well as school assignments, right? So after that, I will say maybe effective communication skills. A lot of our students are, and us, even adults, encounter difficulties as a result of not being able to communicate with each other, right? So for example, you need to know how to communicate with your teacher. If you are not, and when you're not able to understand your syllabus or your assignments, let's not play the guessing game, right? Why sit and try to figure out things when you don't completely understand? What's wrong with emailing the teacher, right? And in attempting to email your teacher, that means you have to know your syllabus, you have to know where to look for information, right? Your course number, your teacher's name, and the best way of communicating with your teacher, right? And then also, what's your teacher's office hours? What's the contact information? Should I email, or did she send a phone number to call her or call him if I'm in need? What's the best way? Did she say communicate via Blackboard only, or did she say just send the assignment and then we'll talk later? You have to know which way to go, right? And then also communicate with your advisor. So in the event that you are unable to reach your teacher, or you met with your teacher, but you're still not completely sure what to do, or you don't really understand what the assignment is about or how to start working on it, then maybe your advisor, faculty advisor, or maybe your coach, or maybe your tutor, or maybe you're trying to enroll for a class and you don't know if it's covered or not covered. Some of the problems, if you're financial aid, how about we communicate with the financial aid office, right? So communication is a key. I don't know, Blackboard, I submitted the assignment. I wasn't sure that the assignment was accepted. I don't know if the teacher saw the assignment. How about we communicate with the teacher, right? Did you receive something that confirmed that you submitted the assignment? How about emailing the teacher right away? I just submitted the assignment, but I don't see any confirmation. Did you get the assignment, right? Let's not wait for a couple of weeks and then say, no, what are you talking about? I did submit the assignment. I didn't get a confirmation. Then why didn't you reach me, right? So communication is a key here. Whether you know what you're doing, whether you struggling with something, you don't understand the material, don't understand technology, again, you have people and you have tools in place to support you and support your learning. Some of these tools are, as far as technology, you have Blackboard, you have student planning, you have Zoom, you have emails, you have contact information, phone number, emails. The best, of course, mean of communication now is emails, of course, considering the situation that we're in right now. But always do your best to communicate, right? To communicate with, whether it's your teacher, advisor, coach, people who are there to support you. So now we move to basic technical skills. So online learners need basic technical skills to succeed. Yeah, it's a given, right? You have to learn how to utilize Zoom. Collaborate. Now it's a new tool in your Blackboard. Your Blackboard, Sometimes certain classes use WebEx or MS Meeting or Skype or Alex for mass teaching. So depends on whatever tool. And if you don't know how to use it, so what can you do? So ask again, communicate and ask questions. Go back to your teacher. I have been trying to log in, but for whatever reason, I'm not successful. What do I need to do? Go back and read the syllabus. Was there instruction how to access the website? Okay, Mercer Online, the help desk, the help button, communicate with IT, communicate with Mercer Online. Still not working. How about we Google the web? How about go online and ask a question? Just write it in the browser, write it in the tab. How can I use this? How can I open a document? And I don't know, count the words, or how can I utilize Collaborate? I'm trying to use, for example, I'm trying to record one of my sessions, and I was trying to use the typing tool, and I found out that Google Doc use a typing tool. You can dictate, you can talk, and the tool would type your conversation. So I Googled the web, and I learned about it, and I followed the direction, and I was able to do it. Again, couple days ago, one of the students was trying to sign one of the forms and send it back, you know, your application or forms to change a major or to work. If you are in a CSW class, for example, you need to get signature from faculty or advisors or certain Mercer department. So there is the ability online that you can electronically sign it. So just Google the web, and you'll learn more. And if you follow the direction, you'll be able to teach yourself. So you go, the first result will be going to those who know how to teach us what to do, right? Like your instructor, the help desk, the instruction on the syllabus, Mercer Online, the IT department, your advisor. And if not, then maybe Google it and teach yourself until you receive a word from those who you emailed with regard to your struggle, right? Motivation and independence. And I would say this is also personal. For an online platform, you have to be motivated, and you have to be an independent learner. Because the difference between an online class and a traditional class is that being in class, it makes you accountable, right? Somewhat. I mean, you still can be not accountable, which would not lead to a good ending. But just by coming and attending class, you know that you might be asked about, did you read the article? Did you do the homework? Did you submit the assignment? So and so, why didn't you? Right? The instructor might ask you, or your peers, or now that the assignment for last week was this and this and that, let's do this project. Let's start working on. So you don't know what to expect. So you kind of like prepare for attending class, face-to-face class, right? But an online class, sometimes if it's not a synchronous class, if it's not acting as if it is a traditional class where you're all Zooming together at the same time and taking turns to learn and participate and engage in the learning activity. If it's the other type of online class, if it's an asynchronous class where here is the material, here is the reading articles that I want you to read, and there's a reflection, there is a discussion board, then it is on you, really, how to organize yourself and divide your time to basically get your work done, right? And that requires from you that you become really an independent learner, that you will encourage yourself, have the motivation to get the work time and get it done on time. So again, you have to be independent. You have to have that internal motivation. You have to be responsible. I need the work to be done on that time because it's graded, or because I need to learn. I need to advance my learning, right? You have also to have certain level of maturity, because you have to understand what it means not to get the work done on time, the consequences as far as grade, as far as your progress in learning the material, especially if the class is a prerequisite course to another sequence class. That it's building blocks, right? If you don't do really well on 044, math 044, so when you get to 146, then we'll have a problem because you're not strong in your life. There is no strong foundation. So again, if you can, and we have to start baby steps, right? So it's difficult. Yes, it's difficult. It's a new topic and new material. There has to be some type of difficulty. there, right? You're not going to be a master in learning the class right away. You have to take take baby steps of learning. Every day, add a new topic, add a new concept, and then build your knowledge. And then Martin Luther King, I love the quote: if you can't fly, then run, and if you can run, walk, and if you can't, then crawl. Baby steps, baby steps. It's difficult, but baby steps. Learn today one concept, master it, add to it, and then tomorrow combine both and relate these two concepts together, and then add more, and it goes on until you master your material, right? And then the third part is basically a good study environment, right? We talked about personal skills, we talked about technical skills, and then we are talking now about the environment. So a good study environment. Can you imagine if your room looks like this, or if the library or whatever you're studying or working on your class or assignments looks like this? Not organized. It's difficult, right? So another component of academic success is a good study environment. So you have to have some quiet space, right? You have to be able to listen to the video and to read the material, make sense of what you're reading, underline, highlight, connect the material together, engage with the material, try to understand what it means, right? As an online, we're all, it's very easy for us to pick up the phone and look at the text and maybe play games, and you have to avoid distraction. It would not work. You would not engage with the material. You're not going to be able to focus as close as it can get to 100% when you are multitasking. Unfortunately, multitasking when you're studying is not really a good practice. So again, we avoid games. We turn off all cell phones and any mean of distraction. Browsing the internet, surfing. Sometimes we're studying and we're trying to, in all honesty, we're trying to look up certain information, and then something come up, a new song or comment from your friend, or the news, CNN, something happened, and then you start surfing the internet. We call it the black hole. And from one page to another, from one page to another, and before you know it, you waste a couple hours just doing nothing, just being distracted. You can't do that. You cannot do that. You have to be self-aware, and you have to try to kind of like force yourself to focus, and then divide your studying time into increments, and maybe put an alarm clock. This activity should be done by 1 o'clock. And it's okay not to finish it by 1 o'clock. It's not the end of the world, but it's not okay not to progress and get the work done. Meaning, if it takes an hour and a half instead of an hour, that's fine. 2 hours instead of an hour and a half, that's fine. If I get distracted for a little bit, that means maybe I need to get up and maybe drink water or stretch my body or do something and then come back and start over, right? I would say also, when we're talking about the studying environment, I would say the lighting, I would say the height of your chair, I would say the keyboard. Is it comfortable? Are you in a comfortable position to utilize your environment, or the tools available to you, or the screen? Is the lighting okay? Are you comfortable sitting comfortable to start reading and writing or utilize the computer? So you have to consider all these things, and we don't think about these things sometimes. So for those who, for example, who sit on their bed and do the homework or read the material and then fall asleep, or put music in the background, and they end up engaging with the music more than engaging with the learning material. So we have to be self-conscious and very observant of our environment and our habits and our practices, and constantly readjust. So yesterday I sat around my family working on my assignments, but I ended up engaging with the family and watching TV and doing this and doing that. That didn't work for me. I did not really progress the way I wanted. I did a little bit, but I still didn't finish my assignment, and I need to focus. This is important. This will be on a test or an exam. Then I know that I need to go to my bedroom, close the door, good lighting, so on my chair, not on my bed, on my chair, in my chair, and then start learning and working on what I need to work on. So moving forward, there are certain aspects that basically hinder your ability to learn online and to become a successful student. Some of these fatal mistakes that we need to avoid as online learners are starting class late. And starting the class late in the sense of the semester started and you still kind of like dragging your feet and you didn't log in, you didn't look at your syllabus, you did not do what you're supposed to do, or being late to attending class lectures, right? Just to the class today from 6 to 8, and then I go there like 6:30 and start logging in and trying to join the lecture. This is a mistake. That's a costly mistake, and especially when it happens routinely, right? Because that delay causes you not to become to miss information and not to become aware of everything, and then to make certain mistakes as a result. So we want to avoid doing that. Also, accessing or waiting for textbooks and accessing material. Again, this goes back to the communication aspect that we talked about. So the teacher sends an email or an announcement that you have a test or an exam, and here's the prompt, and it's due on that day, and he's like, I'm gonna get to it tomorrow, or I'm gonna read the material later, I'm gonna download it later, and you start delaying and procrastinating. And then the day that you decided to get to your material, start reading and preparing, you lose internet, or something happens, right? And then now you're really, really behind, and now you have to email the teacher, and I lost internet and I was unable. Yes, when did you lose it? Today. Where were you 3 days ago? Right? See, you have to start right away looking at your material, divide and your assignments or your workload into small tasks. And then when you work on 1, 2, 3 couple tasks, right, and then you get to the third or fourth part of it and something happened, and then you email your instructor, they'll look at your work progress and they'll understand, because they see that you attempted, you did some of the work. But to keep it last minute and then something happened, it's very difficult to convince the instructor that you have an honest attempt of getting the work done on time. And then when things happen, it's not a good situation, right? The third mistake would be login requirements. Again, and that relates in a way to technical skills. So you have to know what you're doing. You have to have your credential to log in online, not last minute. You have to prepare. You have to give yourself enough time. You have to save and organize your credentials to log into your Blackboard or your whatever tool, or let's say Alex, or whatever other tool that you use to learn your material. Organization, technical skills, it's critical, right? The fourth mistake is not to ask for feedback. So you're in an online classroom and you're listening to the lecture or reading material that the teacher sent you and said, this is what's due for this week, please read, please submit your couple of responses to your peers, do this and do that. And then you don't understand what you're doing. And for whatever reason, you're not getting what she wants from you or what he wants from you. But you're not asking questions, but you're not emailing back, what do you mean? Do we have this week to work on that assignment? Do we start the project? Do I need to respond 2 times to my peers, or just 1 time state my opinion about the article and then the other? So you don't understand, but you're still not communicating that you don't understand. This is a big no-no, because at the end, you will submit the assignment and you will not address, most likely you would not do it the correct way because you don't understand what you're doing, right? And then when you receive a grade that you're not happy with, so that basically happens as a result of you not asking for feedback, not looking for the right way to get things done, not looking for support, not looking for guidance. And we all look for guidance. There's no question is, no stupid questions, right? And whether we are adult students or student who just graduated from high school, or technology savvy or not, knowledgeable about the topic or not, there are certain questions in certain areas that we are not very knowledgeable about. And it's okay to ask questions, to get clarification, to make sure that we know what we're doing, what's expected from us, so we can deliver, right? And then at the very last thing that we want our students to do is basically if you really are struggling, and no matter what you do, you're still struggling. So you communicated with the teacher, you tried your best, you looked up information online, you communicating with the learning center or the tutoring center, you went to your success coach and asked for extra tools or resources or how to organize your time or learn specific skills, but you're still struggling and you don't see how. You went to the teacher, am I succeeding in that class or not? Am I assuming that I'm succeeding, but I'm not? Or do I think that I'm not doing well, but from my grades and everything you see, you feel like I'm going to be able to successfully pass the course? Last resort would be ask for an incomplete. Share the struggle with your teacher. Go back and say, health situation or personal situation or work situation. Here's the situation I have been trying. And so what's the status now? What's the situation? What can I do? And if you're really adamant about succeeding in your class, can I get an incomplete? Is there an activity where I can get extra credit? Can I redo some of the assignments? Ask. There's nothing to lose, right? Ask the question. Sometimes instructors are willing to work with you to help you succeed because they see that you're eager to learn. Sometimes it's possible, sometimes it isn't. It depends on the discipline and the course. But don't give up, ask. And I'm sure that the professor or the instructor will share with you if it's possible or not, and the reasons for saying yes or no. I think that's it. I think that's all I have for how to become a successful online learner or student. And the last thing I want to leave you with is who to contact. And I would say if you struggle, the first resort is your instructor, your faculty. Again, go back to the syllabus. The contact information is available to you. Right away, get in touch, ask questions, utilize office hours. And then after that, you come to your success coach. You stay in touch with the faculty advisor, of course. And then you come to success coach, learn how to manage your time, how to organize your skills, how to take good notes. Brainstorm with your success coach. This is how I study, and that did not work for me in the past. Any advice, any guidance? What do you think I should do? Maybe it's the load. Maybe you're taking more than you can handle. You're taking on more than what you can handle. Maybe we need to reorganize or, I don't know, revisit how you plan your daily activities or your weekly routine, right? Or activities. And then if it's technical, if your issue or your struggle is technical, maybe communicate with online. If it's Blackboard, for example, or Collaborate, or I cannot submit my assignment, things of that nature, maybe you need to communicate with Mercer online. If the website is down and I cannot access and this and that, maybe you need to communicate with the IT department. And also the Learning Center tutors, we still have online tutoring, right? It's available to you for free, so utilize the service. These are the contact information for the success coaches, Mercer Online and the Learning Center. And yeah, so that's all for today. And if we have any questions.